The American Dream, a vision that has inspired generations. It's a powerful concept woven into the very fabric of our nation, representing hope, freedom, and the promise of a better life. We envision a good life filled with opportunity and upward mobility, where hard work and determination lead to success. Central to this dream is the idea of homeownership, a place where families can put down roots, build cherished memories, and thrive together. But for a growing number of Americans, this dream is becoming increasingly out of reach, slipping through their fingers. The housing crisis, fueled by soaring costs and stagnant wages, has created a stark and troubling reality for millions. Families struggle to pay rent, facing impossible choices between putting food on the table and keeping a roof over their heads, a heartbreaking dilemma. The stability and security that a home should provide are replaced by fear and uncertainty, casting a shadow over their lives. The crisis is most visible in our homeless population, a stark and painful reminder of the human cost of this crisis. Among them are families with children, veterans who served our country, and individuals struggling with mental health or addiction, each with their own story. Their stories are a powerful indictment of a system that has failed to provide for its most vulnerable citizens, leaving them in despair. This is not just a story of numbers and statistics, but a deeply human story. It is a story of people, of real lives affected by this crisis. It is a story of dreams deferred, of lives disrupted, and of communities torn apart by the housing crisis. It is a crisis that demands our attention, our empathy, and our action, calling us to stand together and seek solutions. The cost of housing, particularly in urban areas and growing cities, has skyrocketed in recent years, making it increasingly difficult for many to find affordable living spaces. Driven by a confluence of factors, from limited housing stock to increased demand, the median home price has far outpaced wage growth, creating a significant gap between what people earn and what they need to spend on housing. For working families and individuals earning minimum wage, finding an affordable place to live has become a near impossible task, often forcing them to make tough choices between housing and other necessities. The competition for affordable housing is fierce, often leaving those with limited resources at a severe disadvantage, unable to secure a stable living environment. This affordability crisis is not confined to major metropolitan areas. Even in smaller towns and rural communities, the cost of housing has become a significant burden for many, affecting their overall quality of life. Even in smaller towns and rural communities, the cost of housing has become a significant burden for many, making it difficult to maintain a decent standard of living. The lack of affordable housing options has ripple effects throughout the economy, impacting job growth, education, and overall quality of life. Businesses struggle to attract and retain employees, and schools face challenges as families move frequently in search of affordable housing. When families are forced to spend a disproportionate amount of their income on housing, it leaves less money for essentials like food, healthcare, and transportation, leading to a lower quality of life. This creates a cycle of financial instability, making it difficult for families to save for the future or invest in their children's education. The long-term effects of this crisis can be devastating, perpetuating poverty and limiting opportunities for future generations. The numbers tell a sobering story. According to the National Low-Income Housing Coalition, in no state can a person working full-time at the federal minimum wage afford a modest two-bedroom apartment. The problem is particularly acute for renters, with millions of families spending more than half their income on housing. This leaves them with little financial cushion, vulnerable to eviction and homelessness, with even the slightest financial setback. The lack of affordable housing is a national crisis, impacting both urban and rural communities. The problem is compounded by a severe shortage of affordable housing units. For every 100 extremely low-income renters, there are fewer than 40 affordable and available rental units. This shortage has created a highly competitive market, where landlords can demand higher rents and impose stricter requirements on potential tenants. Behind the statistics are real people with real stories. The homeless population is diverse, encompassing individuals and families from all walks of life. Among them are veterans who served our country, individuals struggling with mental health or addiction, and families who have fallen on hard times. Each person experiencing homelessness has a unique story, a reminder that this is not a monolithic group, but a collection of individuals facing extraordinary challenges. We often see the visible signs of homelessness, people sleeping on the streets, in parks or under bridges. But homelessness takes many forms. Families may double up with relatives or friends, living in overcrowded and unstable conditions. Others may live in their cars, moving from place to place in search of safety and shelter. Still, others cycle through shelters, facing uncertain futures. Perhaps the most heartbreaking consequence of the housing crisis is its impact on children. Children experiencing homelessness are deprived of the stability and security that a home provides. They often face hunger, lack access to health care, and struggle to keep up in school. The trauma of homelessness can have long-lasting effects on their physical, emotional, and social development. Homeless children are more likely to experience chronic health problems, such as asthma and obesity. They are also at increased risk for developmental delays and learning disabilities. The instability of homelessness can make it difficult for children to attend school regularly, leading to academic setbacks. The social stigma associated with homelessness can lead to social isolation and emotional distress. The housing crisis is both a symptom and a cause of poverty. When families are forced to spend a large portion of their income on housing, it leaves them with fewer resources for other essentials, such as food, healthcare, and education. This can trap families in a cycle of poverty that can be difficult to break. The lack of affordable housing can also limit job opportunities. Families may be forced to live far from their jobs, increasing transportation costs and making it difficult to maintain stable employment. Without stable and affordable housing, it becomes increasingly difficult for families to escape poverty. Children growing up in poverty are more likely to experience homelessness themselves as adults, perpetuating a cycle of poverty across generations. Breaking this cycle requires a multifaceted approach that addresses the root causes of poverty, including the lack of affordable housing. By ensuring that affordable housing is available, we can provide families with the stability they need to thrive. This stability can lead to better job opportunities, improved health outcomes, and a brighter future for the next generation. Addressing the housing crisis is a crucial step in breaking the chains of poverty and creating a more equitable society for all. The current housing crisis is a result of decades of policy failures. Federal funding for affordable housing programs has been slashed, leaving many communities without the resources to address the growing need. Zoning regulations often restrict the development of affordable housing, particularly in high-cost areas. The lack of affordable housing is a complex problem that demands a comprehensive policy response. We need to increase federal funding for affordable housing programs, expand housing choice vouchers, and implement policies that encourage the development of affordable housing units. This includes reforming zoning regulations, providing tax incentives for developers, and streamlining the permitting process. The housing crisis is inextricably linked to the growing gap between the rich and the poor. Wages for low and middle-income workers have stagnated, while the cost of living, particularly housing, has continued to rise. This has created a situation where many working families simply cannot afford the cost of housing in their communities. The concentration of wealth in the hands of a few has driven up housing costs, making it increasingly difficult for those with lower incomes to compete in the market. This economic inequality has far-reaching consequences, contributing to social unrest, political polarization, and a decline in overall well-being. If you like our video, please hit the like button. And also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.